This is the xSports Network.
Do you have a small farm, a big farm, or just critters in the backyard to feed? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you need to make the short drive down to A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee today. Owner and operator Jamie Ayers has you covered and will treat you right. That's A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee. Don't be left with stumps, overgrown trees, and cluttered land. Make the call today to Bayworth Trimming, licensed, bonded, and insured. Proudly serving the region with years of know-how. Call today 931-300-3554 or visit bayworthtrimming.com.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air, when you need us, we'll be there.
From the xSports Network, this is xSports Live, presented by Hinie's BBQ.
And welcome here to xSports Live at Hinie's BBQ once again on an absolutely gorgeous Wednesday night. This is AJ Good, joined here alongside a new guest here tonight, Jeremy Busby. You heard him on the radio with me last night. That call for Loretto against Giles County. He's been the voice of the Lady Cat softball team as well. And Jeremy, it's good to have you aboard.
I appreciate the invitation. Enjoyed the commentation with you last night, Loretto baseball game. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, you know, Dusty Kaiser will be joining us a little bit later. Clint Brazier is having half of his mouth removed. Actually, just kidding, just one tooth. And Cam Mashburn, unfortunately, can't be here tonight either. He's got some other business to take care of. So we're going to start off first, Jeremy, with what we witnessed last night, or I should say this week, with Loretto baseball. Had a big series against Giles County, you know, the district on the line. If they're going to host the tournament here in a couple weeks, man, did they ever come out and take care of business. Bats came alive in the first game in Pulaski, then last night, pitching, timely hitting is what did it for him to get that big sweep. Absolutely.
You know, it's like we talked last night. You know, Mason goes the distance, throws a gem of a game, and as the game went on, he looked like he got stronger. You know, the breaking ball of it was very nasty as the night ended. Kelly, for Giles County, did not do a bad job as well.
Oh, right.
It's like we discussed last night. To me, the biggest difference being Loretto hitters seem to go deeper in the count, work the count, be a little more patient, seem to the hitters stayed ahead in the count, whereas the flip side, you know, Giles County seemed to stay behind in the count early.
Yeah, and then when you look at, you know, they kind of went through a little bit of a rut there, a couple tough losses, you know, to Brooks and the Richland the week before. But when you come back and you got a really good Giles County team in front of you and to take care of business like they did, that's huge, especially when you're staring at this as the final week of the regular season coming up next week.
Yeah, and, you know, we talked about this last night. So you start off the season, and, hey, everybody wants to win, right? But it's not so much how you start, but how you finish. So as we're winding things down, getting to the end of the season, you want to start to peak out. You want to start, you know, playing the right kind of baseball in the case last night.
Yeah, and now moving over to the softball side of things, I mean, Loretto picked up a huge win last night. This team's kind of been on a roll, almost very similar to what they did a year ago. Got off to a rough start, middle of the season started figuring some things out, got some big wins at the end of the season. That win last night at Loretto, I mean, Briley Dover going off with a pair of homers and 5 RBIs, and this team might be just kind of copycatting almost what they did a year ago.
Absolutely. I've had the pleasure of watching Loretto softball twice this year, and it seems as every time we come back and watch them, they're a little bit better. They're a little bit better. It's a team full of athletes all over the field, but again, they seem to be building at the right time.
Yeah, and how much do you think kind of the basketball part played into it, that they really maybe had a week to get ready, to get in there, and it just kind of took them some time to kind of get in the flow?
Sure. You see that a lot of times where those kids come out of basketball, come into baseball, come into softball,
Right.
got to get their feet under their baseball, softball feet under them, and acclimate to back on the dirt versus on the hardwood.
Yeah, and we actually had Zach Curtis over here saying he would put Briley Dover in his lineup right now. That's how well she's swinging the bat, and she had 2 no-doubters last night. And even Adam Lindsay, the voice of Summertown softball, said that he knew it was gone off the bat. So she's certainly playing well. Speaking of Summertown, move on the other side. Baseball, a couple of huge wins this week against Mount Pleasant. I know Mount Pleasant's probably the bottom of that district, but they still came out, took care of business, picked up 2 big district wins.
Yeah, anybody can beat anybody at any time. You still got to go out and take care of business. So even if you've been playing well, you still got to finish well.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of finishing well, Summertown softball, they were also in a bit of a rut, picked up some big wins, got a district win earlier this week, and then last night, obviously lost to Loretto, but that can also kind of be a gut check situation for this team. They're like, hey, we can lose within the district, and this should power us moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now moving on to the Lawrence County side of things, and starting first with softball. They played a Marshall County team, I believe they opened up with in the regular season, right? Go on the road, had a chance to win that one, pick up their first win outside of Spring Hill. I know things fell through, but I think this team is kind of starting to find itself. They've had some injuries, but they're still battling. Their top 3 in that order with Kerr, Davis, and Hillhouse is pretty good, but you saw the bottom of the lineup kind of start to catch up with the top of the lineup, and they might be kind of coming into form here at the right time.
Yeah, at Loretto, the first part of the season, they lost Elizabeth Hagan to an injury.
Yeah.
I believe she's now been cleared to play, so you're adding that back to the lineup. You have the opportunity there to add another athlete in the lineup, if you will, and make things happen. We talked last night with Loretto and their speed. If you've got athletes, you can create chaos. You can make things happen.
Yeah, and certainly with believe their game got canceled this way, down. This is our weekly charades with our producer Kevin. It's going out. Put the microphone out. Okay, I'm too loud. Is that what you're saying? Okay. This is why we have the first segment, to get my mic issues taken care of. You're fine. It's always me. But obviously that district tournament is coming up. They have played well at times against some of these teams. Got Tullahoma coming up tomorrow night on senior night. How big can that game be? I know Tullahoma's in the top 25 or top 10 or 15 or however the rankings go. How big would a win be at home for them and their confidence?
Oh, it'd be huge, especially right here at tournament time. Again, with Lawrence County, they've got some inexperience. They've gained experience as the seasons went along. They've shuffled the lineup quite a bit. They seem to get better every time they play. So, if you can come out, like you were saying with the Marshall County, I think they're in the 5th inning and they're up. I don't remember how much they were up. They commit 2 errors in the 6th, give up 4 runs in the 6th. Ultimately, what was the tell of the tape that got them beat? Take those away, take those 2 mistakes away, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, they're right there, and they're starting to get more right there as these games go on.
And I think a lot like with Loretto softball, like I said, it seems like as the year goes along, they've gotten better, and momentum starts to build. You get some encouragement, you get some swagger about you.
Right.
And hey, who knows what happens. Yeah. You can easily knock off a team you're not supposed to.
Yeah. Now coming up, for Lawrence County baseball, I mean, they had a big win on Friday. They played Giles County, scored 15 runs. I mean, really broke out the bats. I was at the game for the first couple innings, and for a team that came into that one 2-14, had a ton of energy, was ready to go, ready to play. The bats were ready. Played well enough Saturday night against Richland, and unfortunately 4 bases loaded walks in the 6th inning, kind of, a 5th inning, I believe, kind of did them in there a bit. And obviously the 2 losses here to Tullahoma. It's just, the team that's playing hard, that's fighting hard, that has at times gotten good pitching and good defense, and it's just struggling to find that offense. And it's like we say, and it's a problem that every coach has with high school kids, and it's consistency, and they are just struggling to find consistency right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you were talking about with Tullahoma, how big it would be. So you come into a Tullahoma game that Lawrence County say they knock them off, a team you're not supposed to win, and that gets contagious at the right time. Yeah. It could be what you need. Same thing with baseball. One night you beat a team that you're not supposed to beat, then you turn and beat a team maybe that you should beat. Yeah. It's hard to get consistency. It's hard to get your mojo working.
Yeah, it's just going to take some time. They got a young team. They are playing hard. They have Lewis County on Thursday and Friday, and then they got Loretto on Saturday. That game got rescheduled here to Saturday. Obviously, that's weather permitting. As long as we'll see if Hurricane Luna comes through and wipes out all these games. And a little bit of college football news coming up. We've heard about North Alabama and their new partnership, the ASUN with the WAC. They've been called the United Athletic Conference. What are your thoughts on that conference name?
It's been really neat to watch Lawrence County, I apologize.
No, you're good.
UNA's program build. You start seeing some big name programs out there now that you're a part of.
Yeah.
Play some big boy football.
Yeah, and I know they've kind of struggled in all sports, but softball's obviously been good. Baseball with the new coach is starting to catch up a little bit. Women's basketball is starting to catch up. Men's basketball was pretty good this year, but football's kind of been the one that's struggled, I think, the most in this transition. Now, not any D2 to D1 transition is easy, but I think that's the one sport that they have that's really kind of seen the effects of that.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, they've made a coaching change also since making that transition as well. So anytime there's a coaching change, you've got changes and transitions to make as well.
Yeah.
Different philosophies.
Yeah, he's one of the pioneers of this new offense we all see going down in football today. Well, coming up next, we're going to have the baseball side of things at Loretto. The Mustangs are in the house here at Hinie's BBQ for xSports Live. We'll have them coming up next.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Back here at xSports Live from Heinie's BBQ, joined by the Mustangs of Loretto. Got head coach Zach Curtis, got Lane Ezell, Caden Porter, Kate Lay joining us here tonight. And Zach, I know you guys were kind of threatening to not have me come back and broadcast any more games if I kept bringing that bad luck, but you guys put on a pair of good performances this week here against Giles County to really kind of take a stranglehold of the district.
Yeah, I've always said baseball players are creatures of habit, and so no, it's always poking fun and just saying you're trying to blame someone else for something that you can control. But I was definitely proud of these guys for the way they played this past week. After taking two tough losses against Richland and Brooks and two good teams, you know what I mean? And I think having those two losses kind of brought us back into perspective of where we need to work on and what we need to do. And these guys definitely took the challenge of Giles County in such a good ball club, in such a good district, and took it in their own hands and did a great job about focusing on one bat at a time. We're kind of working for their teammates. That's what we've been trying to preach, is working for their teammates and not themselves, and then yourself comes out a little bit better.
Yeah, guys, how big was that win for you guys here, these two wins this week?
Oh, it was great.
It was very big because it's 2 wins got us 6-0 in the district, and we get to host district.
It felt good putting it on that first game. Got a little iffy on the second game, but still pulled it out.
Yeah, especially that first game. I mean, you go down 3-1, score 15 unanswered. I had to feel good to see those bats come out and you guys really execute those situations well.
No, it definitely does, because with a guy like Horton on the mound, and even Kelly who threw yesterday he was awesome. And both my hats off to both of them. They threw great games, and just having a game plan. And what we talked to them about was being prepared for the moment, being prepared for what you're fixing to come up to. And I think that all of them, even though we got down, they understood there's 6 more innings to play. And so when we can understand that, as a whole, these guys in this group of seniors really rally around the fact of our guys are going to go compete on the mound. Let's go compete for them and just put quality of bats together and, getting pitch counts up. And so definitely thought they did a great job of we've done it all year. I've told them in and out that they've done a great job of persevering through adversity. And even if we get down and give up a couple runs, calm, collected, and just play our game of baseball.
Yeah, for you guys, I know Giles County is a good team. Kind of a rivalry's kind of developed between you guys because you always play good games against them. What was that like here? Especially that there was a little part there in that first game. Things got a little bit heated, but what was it like to pick up a pair of wins against a good team and a rival like that?
It felt good. Just the way we put it on them Monday felt good.
It's always good to beat a team, but it just felt good to beat Giles County like we did.
I like they're just saying we just got to play our game.
You got a bunch of talkers. Listen, this is the good thing about this crew. It's lighthearted, and listen, they do a good job about talking on the field.
Yeah,
what I mean?
They do. We have one called the mayor, right?
The mayor. That's my man Kate Lay down there. That's the mayor down there.
Where'd the nickname come from?
Well, if anybody didn't know, his father is the mayor of Lawrenceburg. So I may get in trouble for saying that, or Blake may get some flack for it. But you know what? We got him, and he's been a great addition. He came to us 3 years ago, and he's done a great job. And these two guys being four-year players, Kate being a 4-year starter, and Lane being a 3-year starter, just having these guys represent what our program is a great aspect. And so, like, I've known Caden since he was in the 6th grade. I've known E since he was in the 6th grade. So growing up, watching these guys, and then being able to be around me for this amount of time, it's a good bond. Kind of like I said with that freshman group, the junior class, with the freshman group being my first one. These two guys were probably the first 2 guys I ever coached in high school or middle school athletics, and so it's been fun to watch these two grow, and then watch Cade grow as a person too, and a ball player, because I've always said baseball players are one person on the field, one person off, and so you can definitely tell how these guys do interviews. They may be a little bit more introverted, but on the baseball field they do a good job leading.
You know, Lane and Caden, I know you guys played football this past year, and what do you guys get ready for in baseball? Once football ends, what is kind of your off-season routine until baseball rolls around?
In the off season, I usually just lift and throw and hit. Other than that, just not much.
About the same. I mean, there ain't really, when you start, they're so close together. There's not really much time to really do much of anything, really.
Because you guys start around what, January? Or I mean, I know you do all the off-season stuff, but your first official practice is January.
And listen, these guys do a great job of keeping their bodies ready year-round. Like, I mean, from the time we get back to school, we start working out 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday in August. And as soon as these guys get out of football, I give them about a week. And they're prepared and they're ready, and they take on the task of showing up every single day ready to work and giving these guys something to model after and to work for, because we don't let it easy on them. I mean, today we gave them an off day, but most of the time we're out there working. Even before games, these guys really do a good job about preparing and not just hitting BP, but we take ground balls and we practice things that we need to work on to get ready for the games. And so they do a great job of emulating what an athlete is, not just on the field but off the field. They keep their bodies ready, and they're always searching for answers.
Right. Got anything, Jeremy?
Well, it's very interesting. I made a comment last night. There's a fly ball hit right center field. Lane easily makes it look easy, a whole lot easier than what it really was, but he easily makes the play over, settles up under it with plenty of time, makes it look like an easy, just routine fly ball. That's a pretty good shot hitting the gap that you and I talked about. It's got to be nice, Zach, having Caden in center, Lane in right. You can cover a lot of territory with that, the type of athletes they are.
Oh, listen, and I know other people have said it, but I'll go to battle for these guys every single day. That we have arguably the most athletic and ground covering outfield in the state of Tennessee, whether from single A to 4A to private school. These three, I mean, we work them like dogs, and they hone their craft, and they love going and catching fly balls. The one thing I'll say about this outfield crew is they're selfishly ambitious to want to make those plays for their guys. They want to show off how fast they are and how much ground they can cover. Whether Miles Moore's in left, Jackson Tragley's in left, and these two are staple points in center and right, they want to go out and go get the baseball. And I think as a pitcher, knowing that you got two dudes behind you that will just go out and flat out get it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable about throwing in the zone.
Yeah, so last night there's a soft fly, and I don't mean to call you out, Lane, but there's a soft fly ball hit just over the it's in between the first base and second. Shallow outfield. Like, I didn't have a clue that Lane would get to it. He actually gets to it and then slows up and settles under it, and it looked like it bounced off the palm of his glove. But, you know, I couldn't believe that the ground he covered to even get there. You know, it looks like it's going to be a play that's for the second baseman.
Right.
And it ends up that the first baseman, second baseman are rolling out of the way because here's Lane.
Right, and that's what I was saying is sometimes these two have to check themselves up because they'll, like what he did last night is he overran that ball, and he had to check up and try to get it more. He handcuffs himself, and that's just a great depiction of how much speed and how much ground they can cover. And so being able to tell someone, hey, slow down, is a lot easier and a lot better than tell someone, hey, speed it up. You got to go get it.
Sure.
We don't have to tell these guys that.
Hey, same thing. So there was two double plays turned last night by Clint Seymour. Unreal. And he goes out of his way both ways as far as range, deep into the hole. But both of his double plays were right at the back. The second one was actually shaded to the second base side. That I didn't think he was going to get to it, but he's actually standing on the bag and just snags it and rolls it.
Right, and not to detour from what you're saying, but the aptitude of Mason to let that ball go. Right. I mean, that's one of the cardinal things as a pitcher is sometimes those ground balls, unless it's directly at you, left and right, let it go and let your infield be athletic. And Clint did a great job of holding his ground, grabbing the ball and knowing his awareness of where he was around the bag, to be able to get back to that bag and throw a guy like Jake Cardinal in that type of situation, the 6th inning, that's game pivoting, because we knew that inning was their inning, that they're the heart of their order, and we could get through that. We felt pretty comfortable, and for him to do that, I mean, it just jump starts everything, and then we end up scoring another one off right behind that. So our defense does a great job, and like I said, we just preach aggressiveness. It's better to be over-aggressive than under-aggressive, and so we still challenge them on that daily, but these 3 guys exhibit that day in and day out.
Your pitching staff is so deep. Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen a bunch of different pitchers. Saw Kate go against Richland, did a really good job the other night. Obviously, Clint Mason, you got Lucas coming out of the bullpen. Is that kind of your closer sort of situation?
And I think, and we've talked about before, we try to start Lucas a little bit, and it's nothing against them. Some guys are better as relievers than they are starters.
Right.
And so to have guys like Mason, Cade, Clint, Carter to lead the way and to start the game gives ways to those guys like Finn Duke, Lucas Laxon, Dylan Thompson, Grant Fisher, to come in and throw strikes after them. Cade Lay knows when they're out there, I'm their biggest advocate to go out there and finish it. Early in the season, I got in a little bit of trouble with pitch counts because let them go out there and roll, because I'm going to let them do their thing, and I trust him. They're old enough. He's a grown man. He knows what his arm can handle, and so by allowing them that freedom to kind of pick and choose when they're not pick and choose when they're coming out of the game, but to let me know how they feel, sets way for those relievers to come in. But I thought our pitching staff has done a great job. They've come a long way. We still have a lot to work on, because listen, it's no easy task coming for the rest of this week and next week. I don't care what anybody says. No matter what's going on, playing Summertown's tough. And so having them next week, no matter what our record is, no matter what their record is, if we host, if we don't host, our eyes are set on Summertown. I think everybody's got that circled. And so having that, and it's a different competition. Tennessee faces Alabama in football. Doesn't matter the records. It's fixing to be a tight ball game. And you're going to have to own up to your insecurities and just kind of reveal what you got. And so I think these guys are doing a great job at that.
You mentioned that schedule, and for you guys, you got the Middle Tennessee Monarchs tomorrow night, got Webb on Friday, Lawrence County now on Saturday, and then you got Summertown. You guys got a stretch here of 5, not only physically tough games, but also mentally tough games, because you got some rivals mixed in there.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you roll in Lawrence County and Summertown within a 3-day stretch, some emotions are fixing to flow. And listen, we got guys that came from Lawrence County. Cade's one of them. Finn Duke's one of them. We have a lot of guys that could have gone there, and so we love playing them. I think Clint, no matter what has gone on, has done a great job with that team, and he's a great asset to that team, and he's going to have his guys prepared, and they're going to come out just like every other team we play, wanting to beat us. And so that was our message to them last night, is doesn't matter what we just accomplished by winning last night, that game's over with. Let's flush it and move on to the next one, because everybody know, and I'll never forget it, my first high school coaching game was against the Tennessee Monarchs, and we lost. I went into that game easy. They're a homeschool team. They came out there ready to play, and I didn't have our guys prepared or myself prepared. So Tennessee Monarchs is a game that is next circled. Every game is circled because it's the next biggest game. We're 0-0, and then you got Webb coming in being a private school. They got the assets. Then you roll into, and then you got Lawrence County. They have nothing, they have everything that could beat any team at any given point. Same with Summertown. You're rolling out a Vanderbilt SEC commit, then you're rolling out a freshman that possibly could be just as good in Jackson Bennett, and their lineup's dangerous. They're scrappy. They can flat out play, and anytime they see an L walk through that gate, it's like a flip switch. And they're ready to go, and I think these guys are doing a great job of preparing for that.
What's it like for you guys knowing that you're going to have after these first 2 games, and the next 3, you guys are going up against your in-county rivals?
I'm excited about it. I always like playing the in-county rivals. It's just
going to be a good game.
Lane, what you got, kid?
I'm ready to go.
It's kind of like we discussed during the break before we rode into this. Probably take a microphone into the dugout during the game and get a whole lot better true feel of.
Listen, you'd get
them in their element.
You'd get an insight, and you'd get to see Nick Moore at his rawest. Isn't that what everybody wants to see?
Yes.
I mean, listen, if you can hear him on the radio talking football, you should hear him in baseball. It's even better because listen, football is his element. But you can ask these guys. He is the laughter and the spark and the light that's in our dugout a lot of times because a lot of me and David can get super intense. Coach Laws and Coach Dunn are pretty even kill.
Yeah.
And then you just got Nick that's going to keep everybody engaged, keep everybody, and you can see off Lane's face, he's laughing, but he does a good job about that. And just like every player has a role, every coach has a role, and but to get back to y'all's point about this week, it's almost like your work week. It's your rivalry week. It's one of the last weeks of the year. And then we turn around and play them on Saturday, Lawrence County on Saturday. You got them on Friday too. So it's a quick turnaround. And we got Hardin County coming in, who last year was one of the two teams that put 10+ runs on us. And I think everybody, including myself, put a little exclamation mark by that game because they put it to us and they let us know it. And we walked out there with our tails tucked between our legs. And so, I mean, we have a great stretch of games to get us prepared to the tournament. No matter what happens from yesterday behind us, we got to start working day by day to get ready for that tournament because it doesn't matter what our record is coming into it. It's 0-0 as soon as you hit that tournament because you never know what's about to happen. And every team's going to roll out their best guy ready to come after every single game.
Well, you made a comment about inter-county rivalry, if you will, and how you got to go out and play that game. Talking about Nick, I graduated when Nick played football and baseball. Nick, I know exactly how that cat is.
Listen,
so I say all that to say, I've been in your shoes, and I know. Hey, Lawrenceburg, Loretta, Summertown, they square off against each other. It don't matter if it's what it's in. It don't matter if we're playing cards. I'm fixing to beat you and beat you as bad as I can beat you. I mean, that's just the mindset. Nothing personal. It's business, but.
Right.
That's part of the inter. That's what makes it fun too.
And I think you hit the nail on the head right there. That's what makes it fun.
Yes.
All these kids know each other. They hang out. They'll go to eat together. Yep. But as soon as you step on that court or that football field or in between those lines on a baseball field, listen. Watching these inter-county schools going against each other in student sections is a great thing to watch. Yeah. Listen, watching them play basketball and then watching our student section in Lawrence County and Summertown student section get after it. It's what this is all about. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just that competitive nature and these kids pulling for their own classmates, also pulling for their school. Yeah. That's one thing that we preach. You don't play for the name on the back of your jersey. You play for the name going across your jersey and making that stand for something. And so having those inter-county rivalries, you get a bragging right for a couple months, but they're coming right back at you.
The flip side of what you're talking about earlier, so you have a team that comes out and run rules you, takes you by surprise. That leaves a mark on you. That ticks you off a little bit. I mean, I've been there, like you said. Hey, you put a mark by that one. That's something that's personal and means something different now when you come back and play them again. Like, right. You're not treating me like that again. I mean, it's like a chip on your shoulder.
It is, and I think you can ask these guys after that loss. It was about midway through the season. We probably still had about a week and a half left. It flipped our switch. Us losing to Richland and Brooks, I think that was our switch. Yeah. And so doing those sets it in perspective. This can't happen again. It kind of resets you, grounds you, and said, here we go. It's time to work. And these guys dug in, and that's what I'm so proud of them about. They could have easily rolled over, having a tough loss against Richland and a tough loss against Brooks. You could have easily rolled over, put your belly up in the air, but they did a great job facing two dudes, like I said, that are studs. Yeah. And so they did a great job.
The great thing about athletics, regardless what sport it is to me, it teaches you how to deal with life, right? Yep. You got a plan, you go out to execute a plan, you get hit in the mouth and all that changes, right? Yeah. Everybody's got a plan, they get hit in the mouth.
Yep.
Well, you roll out and all of a sudden you're getting beat by a team that you don't think you should be getting beat by. You got an opportunity there. Am I going to roll over like you just said? Or am I going to dig my heels in the sand and dig deep and find something? That happens in life all the time. And the great thing about sports is you get to learn how to deal with life.
And that's what we tell them is not only is it a battle per game, but you have it per inning, per out, per pitch. Yeah. So that's why I love baseball so much. And as a pitcher, and I'm sure Kay can attest to this, and I've told him this, I've told all our pitchers, you have 4 or 5 different competitions in a game. You versus the batter, you per pitch, per out, per inning, per game. If you can handle all that stuff and also let go of all that stuff at the same time, and that's what we try to do as coaches, release that opportunity to them. It is not for us to do. They go out there and play. We just I just write the lineup out. They write it. I just put it on paper.
Right.
And by us trying to release the opportunity to them to let them play, we don't tell them what to do. They're their own selves. And so releasing the opportunity then for them is a big thing on my philosophy, my list, is to let them be themselves.
Yep. That's awesome, man. Well, thanks you guys for stopping by here tonight, and good luck. Very tough stretch here. You guys got, 5 games in 6 days, something like that. So very tough stretch coming up, and then the district tournament right after that. But I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by here tonight.
I appreciate it, man. If y'all get a chance to, these guys are getting recognized tomorrow for senior day. So if anybody can get out here, get to the ballpark, 6:30, these guys are going to start getting recognized about 5:45. So all the accomplishments and everything they've done. So if you can get out there, get to the ballpark tomorrow.
Absolutely. I thank them for stopping by. And coming up next, we'll have the Eagles of Summertown here on xSports Live from Heine's BBQ.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretto, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Employee Resources Credit Union is an easy solution to banking, offering a simple, yet modern way to bank. When you bank with ERCU, you are a shareholder, meaning you own a piece of the pie. And we make it easy with the convenience of digital banking, with service you won't find at another financial institution, including low to zero fees and incredible rates. We have the technology you need with the personal service you deserve, right here in your own neighborhood. Employee Resources Credit Union, not for profit, for service.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
Have an H&R Block Tax Pro do your taxes online, and tax season feels just as good as all those other seasons, like wedding season.
I W-2 you.
Taxes.
File from anywhere with the expertise of an H&R Block Tax Pro.
This is the xSports Network.
And back here at xSports Live, brought to you by Heine's BBQ from Heine's BBQ this time. Now joined by the Eagles of Summertown head coach Jason Burleson. Jason, introduce us to the 3 guys you brought with us here tonight.
This is junior Matthew Luffman, and on the far end is junior Zach Staggs. These guys came with me the first time we came, and then this is one of our 2 seniors, Bradley Wiesner, here in the middle.
Wiesner, okay. So Timmy has been mispronouncing it wrong this entire time.
If it's Timmy, then it's probably mispronounced.
Pretty much. So, Coach, you guys got a big district sweep here on Monday and Tuesday against Mount Pleasant. That came out in a big way, and, you guys put some runs on the board and got some good pitching as well.
Yeah, both games we kind of jumped out and scored early, and then especially yesterday we had an 11-0 lead and kind of let them back in the game and had to use 2 or 3 different pitchers to kind of finish the game off. So a little frustrated with that, but it is 2 wins. We are playing better. We've been hitting the ball better. I want to say we either had 13 or 15 hits yesterday. So the last few games have, offensively we've definitely been better. So.
Yeah, guys, what was this Monday and Tuesday like for you guys picking up those 2 district wins?
I think it felt good. Getting 2 wins starting early. Just bats looked good and all, but
puts us a good spot into maybe getting into the top 3. If we steal one from Loretto over there, hopefully we do.
I agree with them. I mean, the bats are rolling, and we got to take one from Loretto though if we want a shot at the top 3.
You guys mentioned the bats. I mean, you put up a lot of runs against Rogers last week, and
right.
And you have these 2 games here against Mount Pleasant. You talked early in the season. You thought this would kind of be the time when the bats would come alive, and that's certainly what's happening right now.
Yeah, and the bats have come alive. The pitching's been pretty good for us all year long, but there are times it seems like the youth kind of rears its head a little bit, and we'll make some errors or walk some guys or some stuff like that, but. Overall, this is the best time of the year to start playing well, and we hope we can carry it into the next couple of days and into next week against Loretto, so we'll see what happens.
For you guys, how good is it to see the bats come alive the way that they have here the last few games?
I think it's good, to get the bats, to help our pitchers out, especially, from being on behind the plate. The pitchers, they're, pretty much breaking their backs at everybody. But, the bats are definitely helping them out, with putting up as many runs as we did the past couple days.
And as Brad was talking about our bats warming up, earlier in the season we were spotchy through the lineup. These last 3-4 games we've hit down through the lineup like we should.
I think hitting through that lineup is going to help us, getting everybody on, scoring runs. I mean, you got to score runs to win ball games.
Yeah. It's kind of simple sometimes, isn't it? Well, you talked about your pitching. Obviously, Grayson's having a good season, but Jackson Bennett is a name not many people know. They're starting to know it now because, he's in that, 1-2 rotation. He's doing a pretty good job. I mean, your pitching in general has done pretty good.
Right, yeah, Grayson's kind of our number 1 starter for district play, and then Jackson Bennett, who's a freshman, and he's hit 86 a few times, so he throws the ball fairly well. And then we've got other guys, Kurt Burleson's pitched well for us, Kane Kinnick. And then one of the guys that, I kind of call him old reliable is a sophomore, Keegan McCafferty. And we had to bring him in yesterday to kind of close things out. And he's just kind of that guy that even last year, I want to say he threw 40 innings for us last year as a freshman, but he throws strikes. He fills the strike zone up. Doesn't throw real hard, but he's got 2 or 3 different pitches. He throws a changeup and he throws, a pretty good curveball. But he gives us a chance to stay in ball games, and he's a guy a lot of times we bring in after Grayson, just for the change of speeds and stuff like that. So, and then we've got, several younger guys too that have thrown in some JV games. So our pitching overall has been pretty good.
Bradley, was it like catching these guys? I mean, you're getting the bulk of these innings, and you got a bird's eye view right behind the plate of what these guys are throwing night in and night out.
Oh yeah, I love catching these guys, especially going from like Coach Burleson said, going from top speed with Grayson, and then going rubber arm Keegan, as Coach Burleson called him yesterday. But like Jackson Bennett, I didn't think coming to this season he would be throwing mid 80s, and locating his pitches like he has. He's been looking pretty good, and so are, all the other guys.
Zach, last night, he had a big night, a lot of RBIs, hit the ball at the center field wall, and you're making some pretty decent contact right now.
Yep, finally seeing the ball a whole lot better than last year. That's what I was hoping for. Led the team in strikeouts last year. Worked hard and trying to work my way up.
Did this guy remind you of that? Is that you looked right at him when you said that? You got
no shame. I mean, he owned it. You can give him credit, didn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't check up to say, "Hey, I let the team in strikeouts."
Yeah.
It's obviously something he wanted to go work on and improve on.
Yeah, his strikeouts are down, and he's batting in the 3-hole for us right now, and he's got some pop in his bat, which he showed last night, and he showed it several times. It's just sometimes he'll have a bad at bat, taking some pitches, taking a fastball or something like that. But for the most part, he's hit the ball pretty well for us this year. Like I say, he gives us a little power in the 3-hole there. But again, we have a different lineup a lot of nights. So Matthew's been in the 3-hole, and so we got different guys, different spots a lot of nights, just depending on who's hot and who's not. So
you guys have been really busy here the last couple weeks. It's almost, other than Wednesdays like everybody else, it's like you guys are playing a game a night,
right,
and taking advantage of the good weather. How do you think your team has handled kind of almost district-like you're playing every day sort of schedule?
Well, and I'm always one when we do the schedules, I try to build it to where we're on the road, definitely a little more than we're at home, because it seems like that's kind of the way the tournaments are. You don't always find yourself at home. So we get kind of used to playing on the road. I like playing on the road. One, you don't have to get the field ready all the time. And then two, sometimes I think they concentrate better being away. And I love playing at home too, but I just believe sometimes they focus on the road a little better when they're away from a lot of the distractions and stuff like that of just playing at home. So I've always kind of built the schedule to that, towards the end of the year when you're on the road in the tournaments and stuff like that. So we've played a lot of ball. I can tell a little bit in our arms. Guys are tired right now a little bit, so we're hoping we can regroup and get finish out strong here at the end. So we'll see what happens.
You guys got a big week coming up. You got 2 with Loretto on Monday and Tuesday. You got Lawrence County after that, and I know physically, it's baseball and you got the wear and tear coming out, but mentally and all that with the rivalry games. What are you guys expecting here starting on Monday?
I'm expecting to go out, start out hot. We only got the rest of this week and next week of the regular season. So just try and finish it out pretty strong.
Yeah. And as you said, the mental side is trying to get ready, trying to do better than what we did last year, getting put out in district, trying to make it back up to the state. And as Coach said, first time we came to odd year is our best years, and this is an odd year, so hopefully we can live up to that expectation.
Matthew?
Yeah, mentally we're having to really prepare for this next week, because this, it's going to make or break next week. It's going to decide a lot, whether or not we play an extra game in district tournament, or if we get to bye and play the next week or later that week.
And these are the type of games, like you've said, it gets you ready for that district tournament, because it's everyone in your district is your rivals, because you know them, you recognize them, and you've already seen them, and then you got to play them here kind of with your season on the live in the week after that.
Right. Well, and as you said, all the district teams are a rival, but again, Loretta's they're going to be that top rival just because they're in the county with us, and we've always had some good battles with them. And for us, there's a lot riding on it. If we could go in and get a win, or if you can luck up and get 2, or whatever, it would help us maybe stay out of that 4 and 5 game that we don't want to be in, just because you're using more pitching than you have to. So, if you're having a hard time getting up for Monday and Tuesday, then you probably don't need to be playing baseball anyway. So, hopefully the guys will be ready, but we'll see.
Jim.
Well, you talked the same thing with Loretto earlier. Inter-county rivalries, you made a good point. If you can't get up for those games, you probably don't need to be playing whatever the sport.
That's right.
Regardless of records, regardless of who's supposed to be who, none of that matters when it's an inter-county rivalry. Again, it's personal.
Yeah. Well, and Loretta has been at the top of the district for the last several years now, as far as and we've had a year or two here, but ever since those Ryan Weathers years, they've really just kind of have kept it going, and we've had to battle and try to stay on top, and we've had some good games with them and stuff. So a lot of one-run ball games in the last few years where we've had a hard time getting over that hump, and then we've won a few of those. So we expect kind of the same deal Monday, Tuesday. Our district is so from top to bottom is everybody's got good pitching. So when you go in, it's really who hits the baseball a little bit. I know that sounds, easy to do, but every one of the teams have 2 or 3 really top of the line pitchers, and so you got to be ready to go no matter who you play in the district. So.
And you mentioned that it's talented too. You know,
Yeah.
Loretto's pitching staff is
yeah.
really good. Lewis County's is pretty good. Even Mount Pleasant can throw out a couple guys out there that can be
Yeah.
hard to hit. I mean, this is, you know, a lot of people. You know, Coach Curtis for Loretto has said it, but
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people say this may be one of the toughest districts in all of Class 2A.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And it was even tough when we were in just 1A, but you know, I think the difference in 1A and 2A a little bit for me is, you know, in 1A a lot of times your 1 through 5 hitters are pretty good, but for 2A I think, man, you know, 1 through 9 you better make good pitches to your 8 hitter and 9 hitter too, because you know, everybody has a 1 through 9 that's pretty good. So you know, our pitchers have to be ready, and we have to be able to play some good defense behind them and get the hits when we need them. So,
Guys, how tough has this district been night in and night out this year?
Oh, it's been pretty tough, you know, especially like just playing with 2 games against each other. You know, you got one pretty hard game, and then the very next day you get, you know, go out and play them again. So it's not like playing any other team where you just play them once, you know.
Yeah.
But
And how about being tough? Giles County and Lewis County, they're pitching. Giles County got the 2 lefties, mid-80s, nasty, and Lewis County got Fletch Kelsey and I can't even remember. McDonald.
Yeah.
McDonald getting looked by colleges. Fletch is a good pitcher. And I know Loretto's stacked, and we just gonna have to see the ball.
Yeah, Matt.
I mean, the pitching is, I mean, you've got to have hitting, but, I mean, the pitching's tough. I mean, you've got to be able to make do. I mean, again, Giles County's got some really good pitchers. So does Lewis, and Mount Pleasant's got a few guys too. I mean, they can throw the ball well, and Loretta, you know, they've got good pitchers. So
Yeah, Coach, give us a little insight on your group here of the clubhouse. Who's kind of like the energy guy, and who's kind of the goofy, makes everyone laugh type of guy in your clubhouse?
Well, I mean, Matthew's probably got some energy, you know, as far as leading and stuff like that. Zach's kind of that way. I mean, to me, Bradley's a little quieter, but he's a senior, so he works hard every day. So that's a leadership quality for me there with him. But I mean, I don't know. I would say Keegan McCaffrey is kind of the guy that I don't know. You know, he's the guy we threw out there on the mound, like I was talking about. But he's also the guy that kind of is just a crazy acting guy, a fun guy, I guess you could say. So. They all pretty serious, you know, when we hit the field and stuff, and we try to preach that. You know, we can have fun off the field, but when we hit the field for that hour and a half or 2 hours, I you know, preached, hey, let's play baseball, you know. So
it's always the goofy reliever that is the
yeah,
kind of
you're right. That's him. That's
the
him.
fun guy. It's the punter and the kicker of football. You know, it's always that type of guy. Jeremy, you got anything?
Well, just what we were talking about earlier with all throughout the district, you got good pitching, and you know, a lot of times it's managing or how you react to the things you can't control. For example, last night we were Loretto Giles County game. The umpire had a very tight strike zone. To me, he did. He was very consistent, but he was very tight.
Oh yeah.
So the pitcher's got to recognize that and adjust to that, you know, and be able to spot his pitches, because you can control the strike zone.
Right.
And a lot of times, the more chipper you get with it, the worse you make it.
Yeah, and we kind of faced that last night. We thought the strike zone last night was a little widened. So on the other side of that, you got your hitters that have to adjust to that too. And I don't know that we did a great job of that. We kind of took some pitches that were some high strikes and so forth. But it is, every night you get different umpires. You do have to adjust. You know, the biggest thing, like I said, in our district, pitchers are just, you know, I'm a little older than Zach for sure. But I said, you know, when I came through in high school, you know, 85 was if you saw 85, that was fast. And now we're seeing it in our district every night, and you know, it just makes it tough. So, you know, pitchers do have to adjust. We have to adjust as hitters, coaches, and everything. So that is very much true as far as umpires go, for sure.
I remember when I was in high school, there was a kid out of Lewisburg. I think it's Ty Curley.
Oh yeah.
Left-hander, threw in the 90s, somewhere around 90s. But man, that was unheard of. Like, I think we run into one of those all year long.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you listen to Loretto, you listen to yourself. I mean, hey, this kid's throwing mid-90s, or mid-80s, upper 80s.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different game today.
Yeah, and you're seeing it. The 2 kids from Giles, Carden and the Kelly kid are both anywhere from 84 to 85 from the left side. And then, like I say, we got several, I think, in our district anywhere from 82 to 88, 89, 90, whatever. It's just, there's some guys that can throw. And
it's funny because back in our day, if you run into a guy that could throw the ball pretty good, had some pop behind it, that was unique. That was different.
Yeah.
But now, you take a guy that you were talking about one of your pitchers earlier that didn't throw the ball very hard, but had 3 good pitches that he could locate.
Yeah.
If you even though you may not be throwing hard, if you can still locate your pitches and work your pitches in and out of the zone, up and down, you can be successful.
Oh, I'll take that any day.
Yeah,
I'll take a guy that can just throw strikes.
Yeah.
Because at any level, if you can throw strikes, you can be successful, I think. And McCaffrey kid for us, every 3 pitches, 2 of them are strikes.
Sure.
On average, and that just you have to beat him, and most teams can't string 3 and 4 hits together. We talk about it. We've played 22 baseball games, and I would say only 2 or 3 times have teams strung 2 or 3 hits together in a row. Most time that's not going to happen, and so he's really good about that throwing strikes. But I'll take a guy throwing
absolutely
slower speeds, and I know how we hit too. Sometimes guys hit faster pitching a little better at times if it's flat stuff, but sometimes a 72-mile-an-hour fastball that's located is harder to hit than the 85-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. So I'll definitely.
So also, if you got a guy that's ahead in the count, stays ahead in the count.
Yeah.
They got to come hit your pitches. Whereas if you're behind in the count, you got to bring one in somebody's wheelhouse.
Right.
That they got a better chance of squaring one up.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, to your point, I'll take that guy any day. We've had some guys like that, and Keegan's one of them that we have right now. We got some other guys that throw strikes, but he's kind of fun to watch because he kind of gets out there and just throws the baseball and has a lot of success.
Hey, and a lot of times those guys just go eat up a bunch of innings.
That's
too.
right. Yeah, he's done a little. He started for us. He's relieved for us. Middle relief. He's saved the ball game. We got 1 save this year, and he's got it. So. Anyway.
Well, Coach, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by, and good luck the rest of the week and next week as well.
Good deal. Thank you.
All right, well, coming up, Dusty, Jeremy, and I, we're going to talk about our picks for the most overrated players, coaches, and teams in sports history. That's coming up next on xSports Live.
Tennessee Flight Training. We are training the next generation of pilots. Come and see why Tennessee Flight Training is the best way to learn to fly. Tennessee Flight Training. The skies are calling.
Tired of driving into the city every time you need appliances, furniture, or heck, just about anything? Next time, stay local and come to Swap and Shop Center. We have everything you want, from computers to furniture, major appliances, lawn and garden tools, electronics, you name it. Our #1 goal is to get you the items you need at a price you can afford. We even offer 120 days same as cash financing. We won't be undersold. We specialize in service after the sale. We pick up where everyone else leaves off. Swap and Shop Center, family owned and operated in Lawrenceburg for over 61 years.
For the best at-home care in Lawrence County, the Summit at Home is the right company for you. We have a friendly staff, over 25, that is trained, educated, and qualified to help with all your needs within your household. Our non-medical services include transportation, housework, dressing, and companionship. We are also covered by most long-term care providers. For more information, please call 931-762-2310.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
Whether it's popcorn, biscuits, or automotive, you need the right ingredients to achieve the best results. Heritage Automotive is proud to serve our community with a continually growing inventory. We also help our community grow by contributing to a vibrant economy which helps build schools. I'm Keith Durham, and I'm the general manager here at Heritage Automotive, and it's my job to make sure that you're 100% satisfied. Heritage Automotive, your hometown Chevy, Buick, and GMC dealer.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade, and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
And welcome here to xSports Live from Heinie's BBQ. Now, our big topic here of the night. I'm joined by Dusty Kaiser here and Jeremy Busby. Guys, sorry, I got the burps. Yeah, sorry, Kevin. Sorry. See, when you burp in these new mics, Kevin can smell it through his ears. It's amazing technology that we buy here at xSports Network. So
take a drink, you can even taste it.
Talking overrated players, coaches, and teams. So which one of you two want to go first here? I've got a long list, so mine's probably going to take a while to get through.
His tablet out and everything.
Yeah, he's ready to roll.
He's ready.
Look, I analyze data for a living. So.
Shoot.
All right, so my first, he's an NBA player.
Okay.
Ben Simmons.
Oh, okay.
For me, he was supposed to be the real deal, and he's terrible. All right, then I'm gonna go with another one, Zion Williamson. He can't stand the floor.
That's right.
I feel like he's on that verge of kind of being overrated.
Yeah.
Cowboys fans, Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah.
Vince Young, being a Titans fan, trying to be a Titans fan, Vince Young, to me, I feel like was overrated. And then kind of going back in that same era, they played on the same team together.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Leiter and Reggie Bush.
Oh, look at you. You coming out the gate swinging with this.
And then there's one in the NFL, and I just don't like him. And I feel like they give him everything, and he's only done it one time, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
You got one on my list. I'm 100% with you on the whole Aaron Rodgers thing.
We could go 1,000 different ways about this, and I didn't have a lot of time to put my notes together, so I'll stop right there.
No, you can keep going. I mean, look, I've got 2 pages of this stuff.
Yeah, no,
guys.
I may go ahead, Jeremy. I may say everything.
I can't wait. He's broken these down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at he's got a spreadsheet.
You just started with the players?
I just started with the players. Okay. You want to do players and we'll go back?
Yeah, we can. Go.
We want to do players and we'll all discuss players?
Yeah.
So my overrated players, both football guys, Jamarcus Russell.
Okay.
In 2007, was the number 1 draft pick to the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
Drafted by Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Stayed with Oakland from 2007 to 2009. Threw 18 touchdowns and 23 interceptions with a 52% completion rate.
That gets you out of the league quick.
And a 65.2 passer rating.
Yeah. Death nail right there.
Yeah.
You go back and read the reports, and most of the complaints on the guy was he just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
He wouldn't study playbook. He wouldn't put in the work.
Yeah.
He's got all the talent in the world. In fact, could throw from
his knees.
From his knee, from the goal line, I think, from goal line to goal line.
Almost. Yeah, it was close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Won a national championship at LSU and food for thought.
Yeah.
Still holds today the Alabama High School Athletic Association career passing record.
That's right. Yeah.
10,774 yards. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Now, it's not about in the world we live in, it's about not what you did, but what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. There's a good story about him. One of the Raiders coaches gave him a DVD of plays and says, "Hey," and they did this on purpose. Say, "Hey, just tell me the ones that you like." DVD was empty, nothing on it. Came back the next day. Jamarcus, tell me which plays of those you like. Well, coach, I like all of them. It's a blank DVD.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then my second guy, I had 2. My second guy was Ryan Leaf, to go back a little later.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Ryan Leaf was drafted number 2 pick by San Diego Chargers back in '98. Finished 3rd in the Heisman race behind Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson.
Yep, sure did.
He ended up playing 4 seasons in the NFL from '98 to '02, a 48.4% completion percentage.
Yeah.
14 touchdowns to 36 interceptions, and a 50 passer rating.
I mean, it's almost that's probably going to be another topic for another day. The biggest bust in sports.
Sure,
we could probably go
We
sport
could.
by sport,
And
and
a couple of mine
those
were bust.
two would be
The most
probably at the
interesting
top.
fact to me was, so you had Peyton Manning and Ron Leaf there in the same year.
Yeah.
You know, there was debate by scouts on
remember.
who
Yeah.
who was going to be
Absolutely.
most successful in the NFL. And the talk on Peyton Manning, I don't know if you remember that, was he can't win a big game.
Right, and he didn't have a big arm.
He didn't have a big arm. He couldn't win the big game. So, as as you're doing a little homework here.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's talking about how Peyton don't have the arm. Peyton's not going to pan out.
Yeah.
Peyton, I don't know if you remember, but the Colts and Dungy end up taking Peyton Manning as the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Chargers trade up to get the 2nd pick and take Leaf.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's history.
Yeah, it's those are two. I mean, I told him this list of 3:00 this afternoon. He comes out breaking out all those
That's what I'm
stats.
telling you, man. I'm sitting here looking at the screen. I will be ready next time.
So I've got a long list of overrated players. I'm going to save the most controversial for the end. So I'm going to say some of these are they just haven't won. Some of them are just straight locker room cancers.
Yep.
Big numbers, but just locker room cancers. So I'm going to start off with Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Done a lot. He's kind of revolutionized the point guard position. Still hasn't won. And, you kind of heard some behind-the-scenes stuff about him. So, Christian Laettner, great college player.
Man.
You're going to hurt them Duke fans.
Great college. I mean, but it's the truth. He's a great college. Now, he eked out, a decade and plus in the NBA, but he was never.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Yeah. But he was, and he still is considered like a god in college basketball.
Yes.
But he's just, I think he made 2 All-Star games as a
Maybe.
pro.
My
And he
wife
took
just
Shaq's spot on the dream team. too.
Yeah.
So that kind of catches
My
on.
wife may have just wrote you off, AJ, calling out Christian
She's
Laettner.
shaking her head at me right now. So staying with basketball, we got
the full court pass, if you will, the turnaround hook start.
It's a great shot.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great shot. Yeah, I can't deny it. As a college player, all-time great. As an
Yeah.
overall player,
Nah.
Draymond Green. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think the Warriors win these championships with a similar player or even less talented player without all the drama. But I can see both sides of it, but it's just getting to the point
I think
it's
he's a locker
comical.
room guy, though. I think
Yeah.
really,
Well,
I do.
Was a locker room guy until he punched somebody.
Yeah, but I think he's still the kind of the glue.
Yeah.
He's a role.
Yeah.
Feels a role.
That's just me.
When he's on the court, if he can stay on the court,
Yeah.
which is,
Yeah.
well, obviously
We'll talk
he's
about that a
suspended,
little later.
Dwight Howard.
Oh, man.
Big numbers, but, I mean, locker room cancer.
Yep.
Had that one really good year. Remember with Jameer Nelson in Orlando?
Yep.
Got to the finals. Kobe killed him, but.
No, Kobe torched him.
Okay. My sister's going to get really mad at me on this one. Scottie Pippen. What'd he do without Jordan? Charles
Jordan
Barkley
guy.
hates his guts.
I can. It's
Went
it's
to
tough.
Portland.
I mean, he's. Yeah, I agree though.
Kind of what Dusty was saying earlier about Green. Scotty did a good job though of being the guy in the dark. In Jordan's shadow.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Well,
raise the
you're right,
he
but when he set out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost it all right then.
Yeah. And what did he do in Houston?
Do nothing. What did he do in Portland?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why I have him
Yeah,
over. Sorry, Amber, you're going to kill me. But So Carmelo Anthony. I mean, if anyone could stop an offense single-handedly, it's Carmelo Anthony.
Yep.
And I think he's more known for winning a national championship at Syracuse than what he is for his pro
Or his high
career.
school days.
Yeah. Ozzie Smith, all-time
the
great
wizard.
fielder, but was he a 220 career hitter?
Maybe.
And he was thrown out 60% of the time trying to steal bases.
Yep.
I mean, great fielder, can do a backflip, but you're not putting the bat in his hand in a big situation.
No.
Jose Canseco, one of the first 40-40 guys, but he's that
Boy, he
roid
is.
guy, and when he fell off, really fell off.
Once that erupted,
Yeah.
it was
Once
over.
I think once McGuire left him, that was it.
Yeah. Russell Wilson. We're starting to
See,
find out.
See, I was going there.
Yeah. So we're starting to find out how really good he is once he got away from that Seattle machine.
Yes.
As a 49er fan, Colin Kaepernick, 2 really good years. And once Jim Harbaugh put the offense in his hands,
I think that
this is a non-political thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Just wasn't an overall great quarterback. In the same vein, Michael Vick. Great talent, but he relied more on his talent than his.
Hey, and everybody will always be talking about what he could have done.
Exactly. So that, as we mentioned, Aaron Rodgers, I think at this point in his career, he's more focused on himself and trying to make himself seem more smarter than what he is. And we can go all day about his playoff failures.
Oh,
that's
the only thing he's got going for him is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. And this will be controversial for Cowboys fans. Michael Irvin. Who is he without Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith?
That's a true statement.
The funny part about that, AJ, though, is I was doing some research.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman's name come up on one of the most overrated.
I think
and the argument is who is he without Michael Irvin?
Yeah.
And his receiving core and his offensive line.
And who are those two? Yeah, the offensive line was one of the all-time best.
Yes.
And who are they without Emmitt Smith? I mean,
this is not.
I don't think he gets the credit.
No.
I don't think he. I think he's the underrated player.
Yeah.
This is wasn't the topic for tonight. But so what do you have if you have Barry Sanders running behind the Dallas Cowboys offensive line versus what could he have been?
Five-time MVP and the all-time greatest.
And to see what he did in Detroit,
and he wouldn't have retired early either.
Right.
Tony Romo. I mean, yeah, exactly. He was a Cowboy. If he wasn't a Cowboy, he wouldn't even be in our minds right now. Terrell Owens, all-time great talent, but destroyed every locker room he was ever in. Alex Rodriguez, all-time great talent, but destroyed every locker room he's ever in. It was always about him.
We talk about his numbers, but he only had one World Series.
Yeah, and he did that at the end of his career, past his prime, with a loaded Yankee team. So I'm going to group these two together because they're coach killers, they're locker room killers, and they're ball killers, Kyrie Irving and James Harden.
Yeah.
Until they can prove they can be good teammates. I think James Harden is actually doing that right now.
I think he's finally learned.
He's learned. So if he wins a title, I'll take him off this list.
And Kyrie, I think he's on his last stint in the NBA. If he can't make this work, and I ranted on this last week about the Mavericks, Kyrie could be done with basketball.
Cam Newton.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, I mean,
just can't stand him.
He had that MVP year.
I have a shirt.
When he didn't fall on the ball in that Super Bowl and that fumble, he didn't fall on it. He was, he immediately went overrated.
I was at the Iron Bowl when he played us, and there were shirts going around, and I bought one, and it had Scam Newton on it.
Yeah.
But he laid down on the ground and was He was looking over at Nick, smiling.
Yep.
He would just lay on the football because he knew if we got the ball back, we were going to beat him. I just
So my next one is Joe Namath. Threw more interceptions and touchdowns, and he had a below 60% passing completion rating. So he was the first one to throw for over 4,000 yards. Obviously, the Super Bowl III, but if he doesn't make the guarantee and his running game and his defense doesn't win that game, he's mentioned, but he's not the Hall of Famer we know him to be today.
So, the tough part about this to me is the game of football was different back then as well.
It is.
He revolutionized it, but
he did. He was the first air raid. He was the one airing it out.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, Dan Marino.
See,
never won a title.
I wanted to go there. I really did.
He handcuffed that entire franchise as a passing team for years. Never had a good running game. He actually had a couple elite defenses, and he can never beat Buffalo, even in his own house in the championship game.
That's right.
With an injured Jim Kelly. Couldn't do it.
That's right. Yeah.
And probably the most controversial, but I think a lot of people hold this opinion, Derek Jeter.
The captain.
Yeah. I can't stand the guy.
So the funny thing about a commonality between all these are a disease in the locker room.
Yeah.
It ends up, and it's sad to say, but hey, I can't get along with the guy next to me, and it ends up killing my legacy, if you will.
Yeah.
They bought those titles. I don't care what they said.
Well, that's true. Yeah, have more money than everyone else.
Yes.
All right, coach's time now, guys.
All right, I'm going to make some really mad SEC fans right here. And the first one's going to be in basketball.
Okay.
I think it's Calipari.
No, he's on my list.
To have some of the best talent ever assembled at the University of Kentucky that we've ever seen. Can't do it. He just can't get them there. And, then we had the whole Memphis run and all that controversy. I just think Calipari is just so overrated. And I think this is going to be his last year at Kentucky. Now I'm going to switch to football on the college side, and I think it's Lincoln Riley.
You took another one of my guys.
I think Lincoln Riley is very overrated. He had so much talent at Oklahoma. You know, he gets to the playoffs,
but gets
and
crushed.
he had our quarterback get him there, and he still can't win. And then he goes to USC. He does get the Heisman Trophy winner or whatever you want to call him. But I think he is very overrated. And another one for me is Harbaugh at Michigan.
Yeah, you took another one of mine.
I think he's, you know, my coworker's probably watching right now, and he's probably going to get me in the morning when I get to work because he's from Michigan. How do you know? I mean, every year we hear, you know, of course, Alabama, Georgia, and then it's always Michigan. Oh, this is Harbaugh's year. Yeah, he has beat Ryan Day.
Yeah.
But I just feel like with what he's had, he could have done more.
Yeah.
If you can say it that way.
Got any more?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Jeremy?
So, my two, one of those probably shocked. Lane Kiffin.
I got him that.
As a head coach, I think he's a great offensive mind.
Yeah.
I think he's a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we were talking about earlier as far as being toxic. Everywhere he's win, you got this baggage that comes with the guy.
Yeah.
But everywhere he's been as a head coach, he's surrounded by huge expectations, and he never produces.
Yeah.
And I'll even tell you this: I'm a huge Tennessee fan. Everybody wants to rave about how great he did because we beat Alabama, his only year in Knoxville. But I think for the year we were
7 and 6. I think you win.
But I guess the flip side of that is I am an Alabama fan, and so all my friends are Tennessee fans.
Yeah.
So this is what I hear.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them want to blame Kiffin for the downfall. It wasn't Kiffin's fault.
No.
So I say this, and a lot of them say, you know, before y'all got well, it was all just bring Kiffin back. So really, what would he do with what y'all had this past season?
Oh, sure.
Hooker don't get hurt, and you have what you got. Where does Kiffin go with that? You know, but I'm with you. I think he is overrated.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. My next one, Jeff Fisher.
Oh,
I saw him on a bunch of lists today.
So here's the catch.
Yeah.
He coaches from 94 to 2006 in the NFL. His overall record's 175, 173 losses, and 1 tie.
Wow.
Well, he's right down the middle at 50-50.
Yeah.
His playoff record is 5 and 6. 5 of those wins come in '99 when he won 3 ball games. Take that year out of the picture.
Ooh, that's terrible.
He's 2 and 5 in playoffs. Wow. I don't know if you know this, but in 2022, he was hired as the GM and the head coach in the USFL.
Yes.
For the Michigan Panthers. He's already done.
Yeah.
First year went 2 and 8. They replaced him.
Yeah. Yep. He had his chances. He certainly did. I've got a long list here. I'm going to start off with Steve Spurrier. Talked a lot. Only won 1 championship.
That's right.
Only won 1 championship. I'm going to go Jim Boeheim, basketball-wise. I mean, he had so many good Syracuse teams, but only won it once. I know it's hard to win, but only won it once. Mike Ditka.
See, I get it.
Yeah, and the one time they did win, the 85 Bears, what was it? It's Buddy Ryan's defense.
Yes,
the
it
46
sure was.
defense.
Oh, that was nasty.
I'm going to go, this is going to be controversial, the non-Lakers, Pat Riley. And the one title he won without them, he fired the coach for the Heat, replaced him, and then won it with Shaq and D. Wade.
That's right, he did.
Yes, he did. He did. Remember that?
Yes.
I'm going to go Larry Brown from the NBA. Never stays long. Even in college, never stays long. He has won a championship in the NBA in college. Can't take that away. But everywhere he goes, it's scorched earth.
Was it the Pacers? Was that where he was at? Where he had the team and just couldn't win?
Well, that was the 90s Pacers.
Well,
right? He won with Detroit.
That's
and
right.
Upset Kobe and Shaq and Karl Malone and Gary. 04, I think that was. Rick Barnes, I know it's going to make Tennessee fans mad, but let's.
That's a true statement. He gets to the. He's a Sweet 16 coach, and that's as far as he can make it.
If he even gets there.
If he can get there.
So we mentioned Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to go James Franklin. Can recruit, can win, but can't win the big game outside of that one block kick for a touchdown against Ohio State and Happy
got
Valley.
Paid it.
Yes.
The funny thing about this during Tennessee's whole coaching debacle, if you will, for 10 years, they would have begged to have that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He was the hot name on the list there for a while.
Jimbo Fisher. I mean,
I can't stand
he
the
hasn't
guy.
done anything since Jameis Winston in Florida State, and you haven't seen many signs that would tell you that things are going right, other than the one COVID year at A&M.
Texas A&M can say a lot right there, right?
Yeah.
Boy,
I'm gonna Dusty Baker. Until this past year,
I seen him on the list, and I had to think about it.
He's taken a lot of teams to the playoffs.
Boy, he
and
has.
hadn't won until this past year. And then Bobby Petrino had a lot of good teams.
He's back this year.
He's back.
See,
He's a coordinator, I believe.
Where did he?
Was it UNLV or he left UNLV to go somewhere else?
Yeah,
he's back in the picture.
Yeah. So who? We'll head the teams now. What do you got teams-wise there?
All right, teams-wise, I didn't put them down. I just got them on my head.
Yeah.
Going to probably upset a few guys, and one of them sitting right here in this little group. My first team is the Red Sox. You know, you hear about them every year, and I know they had the breakout. I'm going back to Michigan football.
Yeah.
I go with them and the Cubs.
You're hating on the lovable losers. It's because we're not losers anymore. Is that what it is?
Maybe that's what it is.
And we've let everybody know about it since 2016.
Yes, and all I hear is, "Oh man, our farm system is we got all these guys coming up." It's always a farm system. Then it's just you know. I don't know. Those are my baseball teams.
Yeah.
NFL-wise, I just feel like they were, and I talked about them for a second, and it's the Cowboys for me in NFL. You know, they're in the easiest division, or was in the easiest division. Now, I mean, I guess the AFC South is probably going to be the easiest division. But I think the Cowboys, to me, you know, Jerry's got all the money. They draft Dak. They got all these guys that are supposed to be all that, and they're terrible. And I don't know. I'm good right there, Jerry.
So, mine, and there's a common theme between my two, Los Angeles Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what you're saying with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Hey, if I have a need at this position, I go buy whatever that is.
Yeah.
But yet, they won a championship in 2020. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, it was 2010. So they won
And that 2020, I call it the bubble. Yeah. That's the bubble championship. I just hate LeBron.
Hey, let's be real about it. I mean, with the amount of talent that you were bringing in, there's no. I mean, just let them play. If nothing else, get out of the way and let them play.
Well, sure. I mean, that's what they done.
Sure.
I like I said, I'm just not a LeBron guy, and I was sitting here looking. I hope Memphis without Ja, and I'm not a fan of him, but I hope they just.
So then my next one, same thing, the New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and buy all the talent in the world.
Oh no, you're
you know,
right.
and they have the debacle between Derek Jeter and A-Rod when they brought both of those guys in, and who's going to play where.
Yeah.
They haven't won a championship since 2009.
Right.
14, 15 years now.
Yeah.
But hey, we still got one of the highest payrolls in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gone a little specific with mine. I'm going to start off with the entire Big Ten in every sport. Always overhyped. And never went, I mean, they even got two teams in the Frozen Four. One of them lost to Quinnipiac. How many syllables are in Quinnipiac? And they couldn't even beat that school in the Frozen Four. Hockey's a little different animal, I understand. But the post Lou Holtz Notre Dame. I think
that's a good one.
They're
not even in
every
a conference.
Year. Yeah, they're overhyped every year. I think the Steve Spurrier Gators. I think Spurrier did a better job at South Carolina than what he did at Florida, because that Florida team. I mean, they were the best team in the SEC for years, and you only came up with one national championship. Mm-hmm. I mean,
you could argue that Steve Spurrier has made South Carolina the relevancy that South Carolina is.
Absolutely.
Because I think he picked them as high as they're going to ever be.
They'll never be anything else.
But he done a lot with a little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas at Florida, I mean, and he had the kind of the mindset, you know, this was before the hurry-up offense and everything, but I'm just going to go outscore you.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't do that against Nebraska when Tommy Frazier was running all over him. I'll say the Fab Five, Michigan.
Yes.
Made
See,
the two
and
Final Fours and never won anything.
And I tell you, and I hate to talk about them because, I mean, that was back when I was a teenager. You know, they brought out the black Nike high. You know, I loved Chris Webber. I did.
Yeah.
I had his shoes, but still got his jersey.
Yeah.
A Michigan jersey. But, yeah, you're right. That was way overrated.
You may have been the one that stole his timeout.
I may have.
I think the LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh Heat.
Yes.
For all the talk of all the super teams, they only won 2 titles.
And he didn't even win one of them.
Yeah.
Hey, and
D-Wade dominated one.
D-Wade dominated.
I can remember the press conference where, hey, we got the big 3.
Yeah.
What we're about to go
4,
do.
not 5, not 6, not 7, just 2 guys.
And they come out on the stage with the smoke.
Yeah. And probably my most controversial one, the undefeated 72 Dolphins. They only played 2 teams in their 14-game regular season, 2 that had a winning record, and both of them went 9-7. No, excuse me, they both, trying to do the math in my head, both of them went 8-6.
8-6.
And then most people consider that probably the easiest road to an NFL championship in history, and they only won in the Super Bowl 14-0. Well, 14-7, no, because of the messed up on the field goal for a touchdown.
Well, you just heard some Dolphins fans.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize.
I'm so tired of it.
Yes, everybody lives in 72.
So,
72. And they, you know, and we're going to start up here in a couple months, and we'll see them, which ones that are left, smoking their cigars and drinking their champagne or whatever. It's garbage.
Yeah.
There's a player. Are you done? Oh, you're not done.
I'm done. Yeah,
there was a player I was going to bring up, and we've been talking about his college team, and I'm probably going to get criticized big time.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow.
I thought about that.
You know, to be what he was in college football, they traded up to get him.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people's like, well, he didn't get a chance. Well, you got spring practice to get that chance, to earn your spot. And I just think that might be more of a bust talk maybe.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You know, and I think maybe a demise to him was, you know, he wasn't willing to do whatever it takes to play for whoever wants you.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine?
You know, I'm going to play this
end?
position. I'm not going to play it all.
If he was a tight end,
if he's a tight end, we're talking like all time.
Yeah. From the get-go, not what he did
all
later
time.
with the Jaguars.
Yes.
All right, guys, that wraps up our list. I'm sure we're going to bring this up in future episodes down alone with when Clint and Cam join us as well. So coming up next, we'll take a very short break. We'll come out, meet the guys. We'll end the show here with our rants here on xSports Live.
Are you looking for a non-factory job environment? Livingstone Freight Solutions is a 3PL company that began managing warehouses in Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. With our multiple shifts and experienced management team, our goal is to give you, as an employee, a safe family work environment and competitive wages. We offer a wide variety of employment opportunities from forklift drivers to management level positions. We also strive to offer a competitive benefit package and PTO options. For more information or to apply, visit us at livingstonefs.com or give us a call at 931-269-3255.
McMaster's Home Gallery, where you'll always get a special price every day. Shop their new showroom full of name brand furniture, sofas, recliners, dining and bedroom suites, Serta bedding, lots of tables and chairs just to match your decor. McMaster's Home Gallery also has GE appliances. Stop by on Highway 43 in Loretto or call 853-6140.
Got primary care? Find your way to better health with primary care by One Stop Medical. With decades of combined experience, you'll find a one-on-one relationship just like the old days, but with the convenience and technology of today. When One Stop Medical does primary care, it's the best. Call today for an appointment and find your way to healthy living. Serving Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Hohenwald. Phone 931-244-8220. Primary care by One Stop Medical at its best.
Are you looking for the perfect refrigerator? What about a new stove or washer or dryer? It only makes sense to shop at the one place that specializes in appliances, top to bottom, big or small. And that's Kelly Appliance in Lawrenceburg. Kelly Appliance is home to all major name brands, including LG. LG makes life good with a full selection of refrigerators, cooking appliances, dishwashers, microwaves, and more, including appliances made right here in Tennessee. Family owned and family operated. Stop by Kelly Appliance on Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg today.
This is the xSports Network.
And back here on xSports Live, it's time the final segment of the show where me and the boys rant, and Dusty was ranting during the commercial break, so might as well just let him lead off right there.
All right, my first one, I'm going to the NBA, and I'm going with Draymond and Sabonis. I know people, we talked a little bit, people, they're always controversial about Draymond. He runs his mouth, and he does this. He knows how to get under player skins, and that's just part of his game. Yeah. Maybe in the locker room, don't really know a lot, but come on, guys. Sabonis, Kurt Angle ankle-locked him as he was going down to the ground. You can get on any social media, you can get on Google, whatever, and you can see it. Draymond's been suspended for Game 3. That's going to be huge because if the Golden State Warriors go down 0-3,
they're done.
They're done.
They're done.
So, come on, NBA. We got to do a little better job in suspending these players and really looking at it and saying, okay, let's go back to Game 1 when Sabonis was already grabbing him, and then this happens in Game 2. Yeah. And my second one was today in Max Scherzer. And the alcohol and the rosin and the sweat. You're 38 years old. You're one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball still to this day. Why are you getting through out of a game with sticky substance on your glove? I mean, you don't need it. You still throw 98.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if the umpires and y'all can go back and look at it, they told him 2 or 3 times to wash it off. So he supposedly used alcohol and did wipe his wrist off or whatever he's done. But why does Scherzer need to even remotely get in trouble for this?
Exactly.
So I'm blaming you, Scherzer. Shame on you.
All right. That's a good one. You got one for us?
So mine is going to be the pitch clock in baseball.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
However, mine's the other side of it.
Okay.
You got a bunch of prima donnas, if you will, complaining and griping about the pitch clock and how you're changing the game. And hey, I get it. This is new in Major League Baseball. How long has college been doing it? They don't have a problem with it. You don't hear it hadn't been a big storyline in college.
Yeah.
They adapt and move on.
Yeah.
But no, in baseball, I can't adjust my batting gloves. I can't. I can't
do all the million things on the mound and
yeah. Like, hey, let's move on from it.
Yeah.
It's a rule. Adapt and move on.
Yeah.
Quit belly aching about it.
Yeah. We completely the pitch clock's been great for.
Yeah, I mean it's what sped the game up at on average 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
a game?
Sure. They played a doubleheader yesterday in less than 4 hours.
Yeah, Detroit and was it
Cleveland?
Cleveland. Yeah, Detroit and Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 14 innings.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they play 7 in there. Yeah.
So it's been pretty good. So.
Yeah.
So my rant, it's me and you coming back from Richland, we talked a little bit of politics and how much we hate politics.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna rail on both sides of this because I say it all the time. I don't vote and I don't care because I worked in news media for 18 years. I know way too much and I don't trust anybody in politics. Sorry, it's just the truth. It's hard to argue with me because I'm just literally going to go one ear and one out, and I'm thinking about the Cubs rotation the next time, throughout the rest of the conversation. But, oh my goodness, people on the left, would you leave this whole transgender stuff alone? It's not fair for grown men to be playing with women. It's just not. Pointing case, walk in an NFL locker room. Walk in an NBA locker room, go in an NHL locker room, watch what these guys do in the big leagues every day.
It's not a room for a lady.
No, I think we should celebrate women's sports.
Absolutely.
I think it should be as hyped. I think we do a great job here at the xSports Network of hyping it and putting it on as much as we do the boys.
I do
they
too.
Absolutely deserve that. I believe at the college level. I mean, the way the women's basketball on the college side, the ratings were great. We had awesome matchups. People were locked in. I absolutely believe they should be put on a pedestal as much as the men have. I absolutely believe it. But my God, there should not be a man playing with women.
No.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The swimming deal from last year. It just blows my mind.
I mean, we're seeing power lifters, MMA fighters. Oh, my gosh. Like, how can anyone not realize it's...
And here's the thing about that. We talk about the MMA fighting. Yeah. I mean, we've all watched it. So, what if... we'll just use examples. Yeah. What if Brock Lesnar says, okay, I'm going to be Brooke, and I'm going to go fight some woman in MMA?
Yeah.
He's fixing to kill. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
okay to do it the other way. And that's great. Come on.
Yeah, it should be common sense, but
Yes.
we're kind of living in a
If you're not
world.
careful what you're doing, you're just setting yourself up for
Yeah.
somebody to get hurt very bad.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Oh, because you're trying to push an agenda, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm aligned with you when it comes to politics. So you got one side, you got the other side. Hey, do away with the side, then what's right?
I'm about the rail on the other
Right,
side.
right. And let's just
Yeah.
What happened to your beliefs?
Yeah, and
You
on
know?
and on the other side, on the people on the far right, God, for the love of God, DeSantis, leave Disney alone. It's stupid. It's petty. So what? They didn't agree with one of your bills. Not everyone in Florida is going to agree with your bills. Not everybody in the country is going to be. That's called politics.
Yes.
It happens. People don't agree with you. Why are you picking on the biggest part of your Florida economy, which is
it's more
Disney? It's so stupid on every part of it. And yeah, I go to Disney on a regular basis, but the more I read into this, like what part of this makes sense? So they pay their own police officers, they have their own fire department, they have their own utilities. Not one taxpayer dollar goes in expense. They fix their own roads. They have all of that. Not one taxpayer dollar goes into that. So DeSantis' bright idea is we're going to punish you by making our taxpayers in 2 different counties pay for that. Where does that make sense? How is that punishing
That's
Disney?
just asinine.
Yeah. And
say
he said,
that.
well, we're going to have our people go in and check on their rides. Your people already do go check on their rides.
Yes.
Have you driven on one of your roads lately, Ron? They're not great. I mean, it's pothole city. I feel like I'm in Formula One going to Orlando.
And so, if you've got Disney as a whole paying for all this, why would you want to?
Because he's petty and he's a narcissist and didn't. I mean,
Wow.
and it's pretty bad when even the most conservative of the conservative media people haven't said a word about it. The only thing you've heard is people attacking people on the left saying that, hey, you should move it to Puerto Rico. Why would they move that to Puerto Rico? That's even dumber than wanting to make taxpayers pay their bills. Just it's stupid. This is why we hate politics. We talked about it in your truck on the way
Yes.
back from Richland. It's so stupid. It makes you just want to tune it all off, tune on bad baseball, in the
Absolutely.
majors or in college.
It don't matter.
Or listen to us argue about Draymond Green. That's
Just to bring you up, we're talking about politics and sports and getting them away from each other. They don't belong together.
Oh, no, absolutely. I agree.
That was
100%.
where that conversation was.
That's right.
So that's my rant for the night. I hate both sides of it, and they come up with the dumbest arguments. It just makes you want to go, well, this sounds like we're in Revelation right now, aren't we?
Well, whether you like the guy or don't like the guy, I'm 100% aligned with Rick Burgess out of the Birmingham area's mindset of, when it comes to male and female, hey, they're equal, but they'll never be the same.
Yeah.
That's a true statement.
Yeah,
a true statement.
like
Right.
they should be treated equal. They should be
Absolutely.
looked at equally,
Yeah.
but they will never be the same.
Or as I heard someone say, well, if transgender athletes want to compete in sports, which I'm all for, how about they have their own
league?
Have their own league.
Yeah.
I'd support that.
So what my argument would be, so we'll look at, say, Tennessee sports.
Yeah.
If I offer scholarships to players, I have an advantage that other teams don't have. So I got my own conference.
Yeah.
So if I've got somebody that's built differently or has an
Right.
advantage that you could argue, put them together.
Yeah. So I just think both sides just need to leave those arguments alone.
Yes.
Let them die. Let it go away, and let's focus on what's getting crime out of our cities, out of our towns,
Hey, and
fixing
another
our
point to
roads and
that.
fixing our infrastructure.
Yes.
I've grown up my whole life playing baseball.
Yeah.
Played baseball my whole life. Loved baseball. I had a daughter. My daughter started playing fast pitch softball.
Yeah.
Any day of the week, I'd rather watch a fast pitch softball game than I had baseball. It's a faster pace.
Yeah.
It's a lot more entertaining, a lot more going on. It's a small ball version of baseball.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm all for it.
Well, and they
Women's
got
sport.
they got the women's league now, the fast pitch professional league. You
Yeah.
know, they're starting it up. So I mean, that will grow.
Sure.
I think so. We got the WNBA, and I know we've talked about it a little bit about the money and stuff like that. But I'm with you. I'm both of y'all. It's just retarded. It's just dumb that transgenders just And people in general think that it's okay.
Yep.
It's not.
No, it's not. No, we're totally with you.
I guarantee if you had a child that was on the receiving end of getting hurt or injured because of that,
absolutely,
you probably have a quick different mindset on that.
Which has happened a couple times.
Yes,
so.
it depends on what sport.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
So, well, that will wrap up our final segment here on the show. So for Jeremy Busby, for Dusty Kaiser, for producer extraordinaire Kevin Wright, I'm AJ Good. Busy slate of games coming up tomorrow night. We'll see you guys then on the xSports Network.
This is the xSports Network.